We are glad you've joined us to hear this message from Center of Hope Victory Church. We have a vision to release the spirit of revival and to raise up and equip Holy Spirit-led believers to do the work of the ministry. We hope you enjoy the following message.
How many of you like pain? We'll pray for you. No. Yeah, nobody really likes pain. But and it depends. We'll get into that. But evidently there's a thing called congenital insensitivity to pain, CIP, where the person feels no pain, ever. They are incapable of feeling pain. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Until you step on a nail and don't know it. Until you touch a hot stove and don't know it. I saw an interview with a guy that had this congenital insensitive to pain. He said he's terrified of appendicitis. Because how do you know you got appendicitis? It hurts. If he gets appendicitis, he'll never know until he's on the verge of death and the doctors figures out, but like he won't feel pain. I got better to go to the doctor. He'll just walk around until the appendix bursts and then he won't feel anything then. So pain, as much as we don't like pain, there are times when pain can be good. Now, before we decide how to deal with pain, we got to know what pain really is. And there's physical pain, like when you fall or cancer or stuff. There's mental pain, where you got stress, fear, and anxiety, or spiritual pain, when you think, God, why is this happening to me? So pain doesn't just mean, that ouch feeling. But I'm going to just use the word pain all the way through. I'm not going to go saying anxiety and stuff. I'm just going to use the word pain. So whenever I say pain, be thinking all sorts of pain, anxiety and everything. And there's, all of us, in my mind, have some sort of pain every day. Whether it's anxiety, suffering, physical pain, being uncomfortable, it's all sorts of stuff. And again, there's okay. It's funny how things get to you. I put on the prayer chain last night. My granddaughter is ill again, like for a month. And she was ill like last year for a month. And it's pain. Like, it's not like, ouch, it hurts, but there's pain involved in that. Well, what do we do with this pain? It's going to happen to us. Pain's going to come to us someday, somehow, somewhere. We're going to get pain. What do we do with it? And it's, if you go to the Bible, which is a good place to go, to find out what pain really is, and once you know what it really is, we know how to deal with it. In Greek, there's only one word for pain, ponos. It only shows up 3 times, and it's all in Revelation. So throughout the whole New Testament, aside from Revelation, there's no word that means pain. I thought that was interesting. And it comes from a root word of penes, which means toil for daily substance. So the idea in that is when it's pain, it seems to be in anguish, hoping for enough to get through the day. How many have ever felt that? God, just let me get through the day. Whether it be physical pain or, something bad going on in life. I've had those days where you say, God, it's lunchtime. Get me through this, please. But anyway, I like to go to the Hebrew because to me the Hebrew always says a lot more than English or anything else. In Hebrew, in the Old Testament, there's 9 words that are translated pain. They occur 274 times. 4 of those words all come from the same root. So half of the words have the same root word. And they account for over half of the occurrences of the word pain. So those 4 words are over half of the times pain is mentioned in the Old Testament. Now, before we get into this, I don't pretend to know all the ins and outs of Hebrew. I'm fascinated by it. I look what the letters mean. I'm not saying what I'm going to say is, this is it, you better believe it. It's the way I kind of process what the Hebrew words mean, Hebrew letters mean. So keep that in mind. You might say, where on earth is he coming from? And that's okay. You might say, I don't know about that, but that's okay too. I'm just going to go through it the way it speaks to me. Oops. Yeah. The silly computer print out front and back on the paper and confuses me. Okay. There's three ways Hebrew words have meanings. The first way is like a dictionary definition. We're all used to that. The second way is every letter has a meaning. So you put the letters together, you get a meaning for the word. And it's not always the same as the dictionary definition meaning. It's not like totally opposite, but it's not always the same. And the third way, which I don't get into because I don't understand it enough, is every letter has a number. And the numbers have meanings. And you put the numbers together, you get another meaning for the word. So a Hebrew word doesn't just mean one thing. It can mean a whole myriad of things. And we have to try and figure, or as I'm reading, I have to try and figure out which word it is. And I just looked it up to find out. In Job, the word for blessing and the word for cursing is exactly the same word. Figure that one out. Because it's got the idea of speaking something. Well, they are both speaking something, a blessing and a cursing, but it's the exact same word. So you've got to understand the context of where it's coming from, what you think he's trying to say. Okay, the four words in Hebrew all come from the same root word. And the root word is kol. Kol, yeah. Chet and a lamed. Chet is a fence, a surrounding, a tent, something that keeps things in or keeps things out. Lamed is a shepherd's staff or authority. So that word can mean something that surrounds our authority to keep things out, or surround an authority to keep things in. You've got to be able to figure out which one you're looking at. The definition is common, profane, or unholy. Now, got to remember, unholy doesn't necessarily mean evil. It just means not holy. Same as clean and unclean. Unclean doesn't mean terrible. It just means not clean. So pain, well, obviously pain is something we don't think should be, because it doesn't seem like a good thing to me. To me, it seems like pain is something we shouldn't have. So the lamed is a shepherd's staff. The chet is a fence in the inner room. So it's a wall around our reaching for God, which is the authority, or the inner room where God is. It can also mean an inner room. So there's the fence around the inner room. Is it keeping us out, or is it keeping us in? Again, depending on how you want to look at it. It could be preventing us from drawing close to Him, or it could be helping us drawing close to Him, this word. Now, we have a choice when it comes to any of this. What does it mean for me? What am I going to do about it? Now, another word, I tried this in such a way you could see how Hebrew words go together. I hope I can get this without going crazy. Another word is that, I'm not going to try and say them, it's the same as before, but it's got a vav in the middle. So you can see the difference. There's the root word, put a vav in the middle. Now I've got another word for pain. Oddly enough, I love the dictionary translation. When you go to the Bible, this word can mean stayed, dance, anguish, tarry, wounded, travail, grievous, shake, to calve or formed. To calve, have a baby. And the one I thought was Deuteronomy, where it says, of the rock that begat you are unmindful, and has forgotten God that formed you. I mean, that one word can mean all those different things. Well, how do you know which one they're talking about? You got to look at the context of the word. Okay, now I told you before, that means common or unholy. Vav is a tent peg. You can actually see the shape of a tent peg. And we have something that attaches to the unholy. Like, I don't want to get too complicated here, but to me this is just fascinating. Pain is something that's attached to the uncommon, to the unholy. Again, it means pain. We're attached to the unholy. When we're in pain, we're attached to something that's unholy. It shouldn't be there. Or could it be pain and something that attaches us to God inside of His inner tent? It attaches us to the unholy. Remember, this said the surrounding of it, the inner room of God's authority. So it's attach us to the inner room of God's authority. It's all in how we want to react to it. And I listened to one person was saying, pain is the feeling, sorrow is the reaction. You know, sorrow and pain aren't the same thing. Pain is what is the actual thing that's happening to, but sorrow is how we react to it. Okay, there's another word for pain. This one. Again, the same outside, the inner room of God, and that yod is a hand. And it's funny, this word shows up 7 times in the Bible, and 5 of them talk about a woman in labor. So that's what one of the words for pain is, a woman in labor. So the pictograph, again, unholy, yod can be the hand or the work of something that's unholy. Or it could be an authority. Hang on, let me get a bit back to the strip. It can be something that's working to make us unholy, or something that's working to keep us out of God's inner room. Or it can be a hand or authority that helps us draw ourselves to God in his inner room. Again, the choice is ours. What do we want to do with the pain? Now, you know, some of us have had more pain than others in life, and, you know, Maureen's been through a lot lately. I've been through a fair bit lately, and other people have. I won't go through names, but I know people in here that have had terrible things happen in their lives. How do we react to the pain? Do we have a hand that, do we allow the pain to be the hand that keeps us out of God's presence, or do we allow it to be the hand that puts us into God's presence? You know, it's hard. When you're in the middle of pain, that's a hard thing to hear. You're in pain. Do you want to be in God's presence? Or, oh, geez, just leave me alone. You know, we don't want, when we're in the middle of pain, it's hard to hear that sometimes. But that's what we need to do. Do we want to be a hand that keeps us in his inner room, or a hand that keeps us out of his inner room? And sometimes it's easy to just say, I just give up. It's easier to say that. But that's not what God wants us to do. He wants to say, no, take that to be the hand that puts you in the inner room. Again, how we react, it's our choice. Okay, now, I've got to get rid of these two. I'm just showing you how these Hebrew words go together. There's another Hebrew word for pain. You've got the same two in the middle, the surrounding of the inner room of God's authority. Hey. Let's go back to the proper word. Properly means rubbed or worn sticks, like sticks that rub together. Most times they've rid some kind of sickness, sick, weak, diseased. But again, in Jeremiah, I have heard the voice of a woman in travail. It means giving birth again. Okay, hey means to reveal. That letter means, so is the pain revealing to us the inner room of God's authority? But is it revealing to us so we can get into it, or revealing to us that we're not in it? When we're in pain, or is it revealing we are in his inner room, or is it revealing we are not in his inner room? And again, when you're in pain, some of these things are hard to sort out. Like, God, I just want to be left alone. There's so many things that can make it hard for us to handle and to draw close to God if we choose to. And again, if you're in pain and somebody says, well, you have to choose to be close to God. Well, we don't want to hear that. We just want somebody to tell us it's going to be okay. But it's still our choice. How am I going to respond to this? Okay, one more. There's the last word for pain. And again, you can see the root word again. To be drawn the inner room of God's authority. Now again, in Hebrew, I've read that when they double a word, it's to emphasize it. Like in, the Revelation, it's holy, holy, holy. It's not just holy, it's holy when they say it 3 times. So again, I don't know if this is right or not. But there's the word twice. So is it emphasizing God's inner room? We have to look at God. We have to behold God's inner room. And it's not just, God's inner room. No, it's God's inner room. In my mind, he's emphasizing again, this is what we're supposed to do. Behold God's inner room. But where are we beholding it from? Are we beholding it from the outside? Are we beholding it from the inside? And again, all this has to do with pain. Every one of those words meant pain. And it's all got to do with God's inner room and how we're reacting to it. Are we attached to it? Are we inside of it? Are we beholding it? How are we doing it? And oddly enough, every one of those words has the idea of childbirth. I'm going to have to trust the women on this one. Childbirth can be painful. So I've heard. I don't want to. I know it's painful. But again, I read this one. If it's so painful, why do you have the second child? I mean, because you realize, yes, it's painful, but there's something positive coming out of the pain. Like my daughter has 3 kids. I'm like, if it's painful, why'd you go back the second and third time? And you get these people that have, 10 kids, and thinking, what were you thinking? But it's that idea that something is being birthed out of the pain. And again, in the middle of pain, this is hard to hear sometimes. I know I find it hard if I'm in pain. Is something being birthed out of the pain that I'm in? Like, we don't want to hear that. So, you're in pain, but something good is being birthed. Last thing you want to hear sometimes is that, but that's what's happening. Pain, in every one of those words, has the idea of childbirth in it somewhere. Okay, and again, it's for us. Is it something positive being birthed or something negative? Is it being birthed or drawing closer to God? Or is it birth or being drawn away from God? Oh, God, I'm in pain. Why are you doing this to me? You're drawing yourself away from God. Now, you don't say, God, thank you for the pain, but thank God, I know I'm in pain, but I still trust you because you are God. I mean, it's nice to say, I trust God because I've got a nice car. I trust God because I've got a nice house. I trust God in the middle of pain. Not because I've got the pain. I don't trust him. Oh, God, I've got pain. Yes. No, it's God, I trust you in the middle of this pain. And sometimes that's hard because pain isn't something you want to live through. You want it to be gone. But every time there's pain, something is being birthed in us. And it's up to us to decide what is being birthed. Are we drawing closer to his inner room? Are we being drawn away from his inner room? And again, it is so easy to say these things when you're not in pain. But when you're in the middle of pain, and I'll go back when I went to Owen Sound, when I got the diagnosis he said I had a diagnosis of prostate cancer. The first time I'm praying away, yes, he said, you got nothing to worry about. Numbers went up. I went back a second time, and I'll go back to it. It wasn't pain. It wasn't that the first time. It can't be cancer this time. It wasn't cancer the first time. It can't be cancer. And when he gives you that verdict, diagnosis, it's not. I won't say it's not pleasant. It's not. You don't turn to God in those first 2 seconds. You hear the words in those first 2 seconds. But then it's a decision. Am I going to keep turning to those words, or I'm going to turn to God? And I felt I turned to God, and I don't worry about it. I think about it, sure, but I don't worry about it. Like, what's going to happen in April when I go back to my test? No, I just thank God that I still thank God for my health not every day, but I thank God for my health. But it's that, the decision we make. So what does God want us to do when we get pain? I mean, he doesn't give us the pain like, I'll give pain to that person, see what he does. But when he knows we're going to be in pain, we're in a world where there's pain. What does he want us to do? And I got a few verses from Psalms with King David. Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me. Anybody ever been there? Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me. But what does David say? Yet your commandments are my delight. Yes, God, I'm in pain. Yes, God, I'm suffering, but your commandments are my delight. Your word is where I find peace. Your word is where I find comfort. No matter what the pain and suffering might be, his commandments, his word is where I find comfort. Again in Psalm 119, 143. And then Psalm 119, 107. I'm afflicted very much. Anybody been there? I'm afflicted. Again, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental, all sorts of stuff. I'm afflicted very much. How does he react? Quicken me, which is make me alive. O Lord, according to your word. His word is where we need to turn to. No matter what the suffering is, the answer to no matter what the pain is, the answer to how we react is in his word. It's got to be there every time. Psalm 130, verse 1. Are the depths have I cried to you? Ever been there where you think, God, I'm lost. I'm going to cry out because I have no other idea what I can do. I'm just going to cry out to you, God. And then he answers, I wait for the Lord. And this is verse 5. I wait for the Lord. My soul does wait. And in his word do I hope, which means to stay. In his word do I stay. If we stay in his word, it's not going to be that the pain is magically going to go away, but it means we can get through it. Now, I just wish God would snap his fingers and all the pain would be gone. You know, all the discomfort would be gone. But it just doesn't happen. It's going to be there. So we have to look, say, his word is where I'm going to stay. His word is where I'm going to focus, because that is where the remedy for the pain is, how we react to it. Now, those are all Old Testament. New Testament, Romans 8:18. For I reckon the sufferings of this present time. Oh, have we got sufferings in this present time? Some of us have more sufferings than others, but there are sufferings in this present time. Reckon the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Not when we get to heaven. Granted, yes, when we get to heaven, pain and suffering are gone. Yes, but right now, they cannot be, the sufferings, they just can't be compared with the glory that is revealed in us. And where do we find that glory that's revealed in us? In here. The answers are in here. Granted, sometimes the answers are hard. We think the answers are hard to find. We don't understand the answers sometimes. But the answer is there. His word. The comfort of his word. I love to go to the Psalms. Because David, like I said, David, out of the depths have I cried unto you. David's having a rough time. He's at my depths. I'm crying to you. But in your word I will stay. I'm afflicted very much. Make me alive according to your word. Trouble and anguish have taken a hold of me. Yet your commandments are my delight. King David, if you read through the Kings and Chronicles, he did not have a fun life. He was persecuted, he was chased, he was taken prisoner, but he always said, you know what? God, you're with me. You're with me, and I trust you. And I trust you because you're God. Not because I'm in this pain, I know you're going to... No, I trust you because you are the God. 2 Corinthians 4, 8, and 9. We're troubled on every side. Help me. I'm troubled on every side, yet not distressed. I'm perplexed, but I'm not in despair. I'm persecuted, but I'm not forsaken. I'm cast down, but I'm not destroyed. So many things. We could say, I'm troubled. Oh, I'm distressed. I'm perplexed. I'm persecuted. I'm cast down. Woe is me. Somebody come and help me. Somebody hold my hand. That could be a reaction. And again, it's a reaction. It's important. Like you said, I'm troubled, but I'm not distressed. If we look to God, we won't be distressed. I'm perplexed, But I'm not in despair because I know God is there. He will get me through this. I'm persecuted, but I'm not forsaken. The world may be against me, but I'm forsaken because God is with me. I'm cast down, but I'm not destroyed. God is with me. Nothing can destroy me. And I always tell I guess it's a silly example. I say it at Trillium Court to seniors quite often. What's the worst somebody can do to me? They can kill me. Then I win. Because I'm in heaven with God. The worst they can do is my victory. The worst Satan can do to me is my victory. Because no matter what happens, God is with me. I don't have to worry about that. It's not as though, I wonder if he's with me today. He was with me yesterday, I think. Is he with me today? Maybe he's with somebody else today. He's with us every day. 24 hours a day, every day he's with me. I don't have to worry. Do I? Probably. I'm not saying I haven't got it together, people. Don't worry about that. I feel pain. I get depressed and that too. But I say, oh, God, help me through this. And most times I can turn to him and I can feel myself going down. And I'm guessing within 5 or 10 minutes of turning to him, I can feel a difference. And there's so many things that can really, really get me down. Like I said, when I got that call from that notice from my daughter yesterday about my granddaughter being sick, I cried. I don't want my granddaughter to be sick, but I know God is with her. Why is he with her? Because I know he is. I don't have to say, God, are you with Bridget? Are you there with her today? Please, he's there with her. I don't have to ask. I know he's with her. I know he's with me. I know he's with Maureen. He's with Kim. Yeah. Kelly. Why did I say Kim? Anyway, with Kelly. He's with Kim too, whoever she is. God is with each one of us 24 hours a day. But the thing is, if he's here, am I standing this way? Am I standing this way? And if I'm standing this way, if I allow him, he will still put his arms around me. And I can turn around and face him. It's all in the way we look at it. What are we going to let win? Am I going to let the pain win? Or am I going to let God win? Am I going to let the sorrow win? Or am I going to let God win? Well, we know who's going to win if we give him a chance. But we have to give him the chance. Okay, what do we do in the days when there's pain, sorrow, all that stuff? Pray, praise, read, and worship. Not because you have the pain, but because God is God. I mean, to me, that's what comes to God is God. Anyway, I hope that helps you, those who are in pain, I hope that helps you deal with pain. Nobody wants to deal with it, but we have to. Because one day, we're all going to get pain of some sort, whether it's suffering, anguish, sorrow. It was just bad news, You get that deal, oh my goodness, it's a pain. We have to learn how to, we have to learn how to deal with it. We deal with it by allowing ourselves to be drawn into God's inner room and authority and not be pushed out of God's inner room and authority.
We hope you enjoyed this message. For more information about Center of Hope Victory Church, please visit centerofhopevictory.com.